So I know I brought this up before, but I kind of want another opinion on it. But just in general, do you guys mind that I continuously use same team after same team? Like, the only reason I really do use them is because I'm trying to avoid the whole just throw stuff together and play thing. Plus, I don't have as much access to as many things as I would like. But it's just, I'm trying to get more on the trend of using actual put together teams and actually trying to be decent again. So, you know, the production of teams is slowing down because I'm trying to focus more on them being, you know, decent enough. But I mean, does it really bother you guys? It seems like it doesn't, but there are always those people that say, oh, change teams. But it's like, you know, it's preferable to me just to use the same teams for a bit. Plus, I like using the same teams. But, you know, if it's really that much of a problem, I can try and make new stuff. But I, you know, only want to go so quick. But let me know. Anyways, hey guys, well, we got a game here today against God Bless Ya from my stream. It's a UU game. It's like the first one I had actually testing this team, so yeah, I think I've went through this team before because I uploaded a UU game before anyways. So we'll just go into opponent's team, which opponent's team threats I'm going to look at on his end are going to be the Nidoking, the Mienshao, and the Hydreigon, just because Nidoking can hit all my dudes for some sort of super effective damage, and then Mienshao's just fast, and once Crobat's out of the way, he should be able to handily deal with my shit if it is Scarf, which looking at his team, he could definitely be the Scarfer of the team. And then Hydreigon, like, when I was first building this team, I didn't really have much I could attempt to take it on that well. Like, Jirachi and my own Hydreigon can, but it's really iffy, so I gotta make sure I just watch out for them in general and make sure I don't get on in a weird situation. But leads on his end, looking at what he had, I figured in general it'd be safe enough to lead with Swampert. Just, you know, his potential lead seems kind of weird, so I was like, well, we'll just go with Swampert, get Rocks Up. He leads with his own Hydreigon, and I'm like, yeah, like I said, just Rocks Up, and we'll just go from there. But he goes straight for Dark Pulse right off the bat. I'm luckily not flinched, and I get my Rocks Up, so that's good. The best thing I really have to take any extra hits is going to be Raikou, and looking at his team too, Raikou might not be that useful, quote-unquote, anyways, so I'm not really too concerned with preserving it heavily, which I do take the Dark Pulse fairly decently with the Assault Vest, but not as well as I would have, you know, normally liked, but it's whatever. It's a Life Orb Dark Pulse, what am I expecting? But he brought in Jirachi on my Volt Switch. I figured he wouldn't go into Hippowdon right away, so I figured Volt Switch would be safe enough. I guess I was more thinking he was going to predict HP Ice, so yeah. Went into Chandelure on the Jirachi. I saw he had leftovers, so I figured, okay, I can possibly outspeed him and then just get a substitute up and see where he's going to go from there, which he does go into the Hydreigon on my substitute, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to let him Dark Pulse, because I don't think I knew if I would be faster or not, so I was like, I'm going to Fire Blast. I don't know why I thought I was going to be faster, but I scored a crit on him, which didn't matter too incredibly much, just meant he died quicker, and I would have, you know, I think he would have died from Life Orb the next turn anyways, but I don't really remember. But Nidoking came in. I didn't really want to waste Chandelure just yet because I knew it could still be useful. So I go into Hydreigon thinking he might not go for Ice Beam, but he does go for that, predicting my Hydreigon to come in, which sucks, but, you know, I'll deal with it. But he brings in Empoleon on my Hydreigon. I just U-turn out because I thought it'd be safe enough to do, and it was because he just brought in Empoleon, which, you know, I didn't really want to go for anything else just because I want to be safe to a degree. So yeah. Bring in Raikou, and I knew for a fact he would want to switch out to Hippowdon, at the very least going to Nidoking. He really had no business staying with Empoleon yet, because it would still be useful to him, so I figured best choice would be just go for HP Grass, predicting the Hippowdon to come in, which I was right. Doesn't do as much as I would like, considering I don't have any, like, well, my item doesn't boost my attacks, so it's like, you know, it's not really going to be that beneficial, but it's still something, at least applying a little bit of pressure there. Just go for Dark Pulse with Hydreigon because I figured it'll hit all of his dudes decently well enough at this point, so that's just what I'm going to go for. Which he goes into Empoleon to take the Dark Pulse, which it does a pretty good amount still, but he's going to be able to defog on me right here and get rid of my rocks, which, I mean, I can just set him back up again, but it'll, you know, he'll have a little bit less pressure for a couple turns. Plus, he knows I'm not inclined to switch into my Swampert right away because Empoleon's in. But at the very least, I got the damage off to bring it down to range where I can kill with Fire Blast. Crit did not matter there because Life Orb, you know, Life Orb, Fire Blast, from Chandelure, it's really not going to matter. Like, yeah, on the Hydreigon before it did matter, but I should have been able to play around it well enough to where it wasn't going to be a threat anyway, so whatever. But anyways, Mienshao came in. I just went out to Crobat because I figured it'd be the best thing I had to take a hit from it. The Mienshao, plus I get scouted out a little bit. I see no item, but I'm gonna at the same time hope it might not be Scarfed, but there's not much I can do either way until I learn what its real item is. But I just went for U-turn on the Mienshao, knowing he'll most likely switch out anyways after the knockoff, which he does go into Jirachi, and I just fire off a U-turn on it and go into Chain of Lure, hoping I'll outspeed, which I don't, unfortunately, and he's able to flinch me twice with those Iron Heads, which is really annoying because I could have just gotten rid of that Jirachi a lot sooner, and like, I mean, I'm going to be able to get rid of it right now because he's going to decide to stay in and just go for the Toxic, and I'm just going to Earthquake to be safe because there's no reason I really have a predictive Hippowdon wants to come in, that's fine, I'll just be able to Scald anyways, so, but having that Jirachi dead earlier would have been nice just because, you know, I wouldn't have had to go into Swampert and get hit by an Iron Head or the Toxic, which would have meant Swampert would have been able to take hits a little bit better later game, and I would have played it a little bit differently. But there he brings in the Nidoking. I was thinking, what's going to be the least consequential thing for me to sack, and I decided it would be the Raikou, just because, like, I mean, Nidoking, or I could have taken on Nidoking with the Raikou, but it was going to be in my better interest just to sack it because of the Mienshao and the Hippowdon. I go for Iron Head to be safe because I was more like, well, if he stays with Nidoking, which he definitely could do, I'm kind of fucked, so I had to just go straight for the whatchamacallit. But here I'm going to bring in Chain of Lure on his Hippowdon, coming in on my Jirachi, because I knew he'd most likely set up Stealth Rocks, knowing I'd want to switch out and not knowing what I would switch out to right away, which works. And there, since he didn't see I had Pain Split yet, and Pain Split's not that common this gen, I just go straight for that and get a good amount of health back and lure him a pretty good amount, but he did slack off, but eh. But there I miss Fire Blast, which is actually slightly important because of the fact that now I am forced to, well, I'm not forced, but the thing is I would have died last turn anyways with my Chain of Lure, but the thing is that I would have gotten a substantial amount of damage off, and I probably would have hit Hippowdon into a range to where my Scald still would have killed, and then I would have taken that Earthquake damage or the extra Toxic damage, so, well, not the extra being this next turn. So Swampert would have been a lot healthier, and it would have been a lot more of a use to me, which now it can't be because I unfortunately had to take all that shit, and yeah. I guess that's revenge for earlier when I critted his Hydreigon, but at the same time, he got Iron Head flinches. I'm not gonna, you know, bullshit around hacks. It happened, whatever. It's annoying on both ends, but we gotta deal with it. But he just kills off my Swampert. I have to go into Crobat because that's the best thing I can do right now, especially while he's locked in a high jump kick. And I just go for Brave Bird on the Nidoking, which comes in to take the hit, and I'm able to take him out with 2 Brave Birds. He was gonna just go for Earth Power predicting my Roost, but, or no, did he? Yeah, I think that's what he was going to do anyways, so I had to just go for Brave Bird. And I figured he would predict it anyways, because he wasn't in a position to where, you know, it was going to matter too incredibly much. So, whatever the case, he takes out my Crobat with a high jump kick from Mienshao. I was really hoping on the off chance he wasn't Scarfed, so, you know, I had to go into Jirachi, and unfortunately he was Scarfed, so he was able to take me on 2 high jump kicks, and I didn't have the Zen Headbutt to kill him, so, you know, Iron Head didn't quite get it, and that'll be the narrow 1-0 victory for him. So, good game, guy. Hacks is unfortunate on both ends, but, you know, that's what happens. But, you know, Swampert would have avoided an Earthquake and a Toxic, but, you know, it's Pokemon. I critted his Hydreigon, so it's okay. But it was still a fun game, so, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I think today I have a battle with, well, not a battle, but I did a video with Elena that should be going up on her channel today, so I guess if you're still watching here, go check out that video. That's going to be posted later today. I don't know, whatever, keep your eyes out for it, whatever. But anyways, that'll be for this, so hope you guys enjoyed. Such blah, recommend sub, and later guys.